What's up, everybody? This video you're watching right now is part 5 of the year in wrestling 1999. I hope you enjoy it. If you're watching, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you follow me on Twitter at TNA WWE Guy and at NXT WWE Guy, I appreciate that also. The followers that I'm cool with, you guys are awesome, and I'll continue to talk to you and give you shout outs. The ones that are dickheads and douchebags on Twitter, I'll just mute your ass or block you. So I'm going to start it off, part 5, talking about WCW Hog Wild 99, which was a god-awful pay-per-view. You had good talent on the pay-per-view like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, I think Dean Malenko's on it, Perry Saturn. They were good talents. Shane Douglas even was a good talent still in 99. Because Shane Douglas was in shape and was, I think, only in his early 30s. He got really out of shape in the year 2002 when he was wrestling in XPW. Good things about Hog Wild 99. I can't remember any good matches that happened. No matches stood out to me that were good or even great. None of them were. I mean, they had Dennis Rodman on Hog Wild 99. Dennis Rodman versus Randy Savage. Why? Why in the fuck did you put on that match, WCW? Dennis Rodman couldn't work. I mean, a singles match, he could not work. He didn't know how to put on a good singles match. He was okay in tag matches, I'll give him that. He was decent in tag matches with Hollywood Hogan. But it was pointless to book Dennis Rodman versus a Macho Man. I didn't understand that, and it was a bad, god-awful match. And another god-awful match was the main event. Was Hulk Hogan returning with his red and yellow wrestling gear and his red and yellow All-American gimmick and Say Your Prayers and Eat Your Vitamins gimmick. He returned with the red and yellow and defeated Kevin Nash for the WCW World title, or maybe Kevin Nash defeated Hollywood Hogan. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter if Hollywood Hogan retained or Kevin Nash won the title. It doesn't matter because nobody cared. I don't know why that WCW and Hulk Hogan probably decided I'll return to with the red and yellow gear, and it was, you can't bring the red and yellow gimmick of Hulk Hogan's Eat Your Prayers, Say Your Vitamins. That crap did not work in 1999, so I don't know why somebody thought, let's have Hogan return to and wear the red and yellow down to the ring at Hog Wild. That was just really stupid. And that gimmick, I mean, they should have just kept Hollywood Hogan around, because the red and yellow gimmick would not get over in 99. It just was not gonna. Up next, that's the end of Hog Wild. There was no good matches on the entire pay-per-view, and I thought it sucked. I'll give it a D-. And WCW also got a new logo in 99. They got a new logo for their letters, WCW. They got a new logo for their company. And the WWE also got a new logo in 2002 because they had to when they became WWE. And last year, WWE also changed their logo a little bit. They changed it up, and I thought it looked stupid at the time. When I first saw it last year, I thought the WWE logo looked really dumb. But I'm used to it now, so it doesn't bother me. Anyways, this WCW logo, you can see it right there. That WCW logo is shit. And it looks god-awful. And it looks like a retard came up with it. I mean, I can tell there's a W, there's a C, and there's another W. So WCW. The W's are tiny as hell, and it's just a god-awful logo for a wrestling company. And if you want to know what this is a Kevin Nash old school VHS Kevin Nash video I've been watching years and years and years and years. Anyways, there's a new WCW logo that they came up with, and I think it's crap. It looked like shit, and I hated the new WCW logo. I fucking hated it. I think they actually dropped it in 2001. They actually dropped it and went back to the giant letters WCW because they had the giant WCW letters on the ring apron for their 2001 pay-per-view Sin. They had the giant WCW letters back, so I guess they dropped they dropped this new WCW logo that looked like shit. Looked like a fucking alien symbol or somebody, either a fucking alien symbol or a retard came up with it and drew it. Anyways, I hated that WCW logo. Now I'm going to talk about Unforgiven. WWF Unforgiven 99 took place in September, and they had a few decent matches on the pay-per-view. Trying to think of I don't think any of the matches, none of them were really good or special. They didn't really stand out to me. I know they had the New Age Outlaws versus Edge and Christian for the tag titles. That was decent because there were two great tag teams going at it. And the main event was damn good also. But other than that, I can't think of the other matches. Were pretty boring. They had D'Lo Brown versus Mark Henry, and I didn't care about that. And I think Val Venus wrestled somebody. I didn't care about that. The Dudleys wrestled, I think, the Acolytes. That was cool to see the Dudleys make their WWF pay-per-view debut. Was at Unforgiven 99. Was a Dudley's first pay-per-view wrestling. And Chris Jericho, that was his first pay-per-view wrestling. Was Unforgiven 99. Jericho went against X-Pac. And what else? They did an awesome video package to hype the main event 6-pack challenge. They had an awesome video package. I'm sure this song, and they're not allowed to play it on the WWE Network. They probably edited the original song for Unforgiven 99, the main event. They probably edited all the music out that they used at the time for Unforgiven 99. They had a video with they showed all 6 superstars together that were involved in the 6-pack challenge. Mankind, Big Show, Undertaker was supposed to be in it, but I believe he injured his elbow and needed surgery, so Undertaker went away and was off of Unforgiven until Undertaker even missed WrestleMania 16 in 2000. Undertaker was not on it because I believe he still had an injured elbow. But he would return in May 2000. Anyways, Unforgiven 99 video package. They played the band System of the Down. They played one of their famous songs that they came out with in 99 on one of their CDs. They played, I can't remember the name of the song. All I know is the group was System of a Down. And it was an awesome song. And it really fit well with the video package that the WWF did for the main event. And they played other music from other groups that was pretty awesome also. Most of it was like heavy metal or death metal. Anyways, main event. I enjoyed it. 6-pack challenge for the WWF Championship. Triple H defended against the Big Show, Mankind, The Rock, British Bulldog, and Kane. I think Kane. So you had Big Show, Kane, British Bulldog, Mankind, Triple H, and The Rock. That's 6 guys. 6-pack challenge. A winner, whoever gets a pinfall, wins the WWF Championship. Stone Cold, Steve Austin was on commentary at ringside. I guess he's out injured, so he couldn't wrestle on Unforgiven, so he was on commentary. Anyways, Triple H retains, and the match, six-pack challenge, was very good. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. And I think WWF actually should bring that back and put on some six-pack challenge matches, because I thought they were entertaining. Stone Cold gets in the ring. Triple H holds the title up because he just retained, and Stone Cold stunners him. And that set up their feud in their match at No Mercy 99, and they were supposed to their feud was supposed to continue, but Stone Cold got a neck injury and had to leave and get neck surgery at the end of 99. That's why Stone Cold was taken out and hit by the car at the Survivor Series, because he had to go away and get neck surgery, and he was going to be out for a year. But he was only out for 11 months, or maybe he's out 10 months, something like that. 10 or 11 months, Stone Cold was gone. So that was Unforgiven 99. I'd give it a B+. I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view. Or maybe a C+. Now I'm going to talk about WCW Unforgiven 90, not Unforgiven. WCW Fall Brawl, not Unforgiven. WCW Fall Brawl 99. In the main event, it was decent. It was Sting defending the championship, or maybe it was Hulk Hogan defending the champ. I think it was Hulk Hogan defending the championship against Sting. Anyways, Sting would win when he did like a heel turn. And his heel, Lex Luger came in, tried to attack Hogan. Hogan took him out. Then Sid Vicious came in. Hogan took him out. And then Sting got a bat, hit Hogan with the bat. So it was like Sting was turning heel. But the crowd cheered when he did it, because they were probably happy Sting hit Hogan with the bat, because Hogan was wearing the stupid red and yellow. So the fans cheered Sting when he beat Hogan with the bat and then pinned him 1, 2, 3 and won the title. I think he won the title. I don't remember if Sting was the champion going in, or if Hogan was and Sting won it. I don't remember, but I know Sting won the match, beat Hogan at Fall Brawl 99. That was the main event. The other matches I don't even remember, because nothing stood out to me for me to remember on Fall Brawl 99. They didn't have a War Games match. They dropped the War Games concept completely and never put on another War Games after 98. Or after Fall Brawl 98, WCW would drop the War Games. Now I'm going to talk about WWF No Mercy. Or I'll talk about, before No Mercy, I'll go back to September and talk about ECW Anarchy Rulz pay-per-view from Chicago. ECW's first big event ever in Chicago. I believe they had a Chicago TV taping in July, and they sold out. I think it's 4,000, 5,000 seats. They sold it out. So they went back there in September and had put on a pay-per-view, and they sold it out again. It was the biggest crowd at the time in ECW history. I don't know how many were there. It was probably 4,000 or 5,000. Anyways, Anarchy Rulz. Stuff that stood out to me. They had a three-way match between Little Guido, Super Crazy, and Tajiri. That was a good three-way. Another thing that stood out, Justin Credible versus Sabu was a pretty good match. Justin Credible gets a victory over Sabu to continue his push. And he should have got the victory, because Justin Credible was younger than Sabu. And ECW is pushing Justin Credible, and I'm glad they were, because I was a fan of his. Other things that stand out, Taz. This was Taz's last not last pay-per-view in ECW, but Taz's last title defense on an ECW pay-per-view, because he would leave and get offered a WWF contract and WWF deal. And I'm sure Vince called up Paul in the summer of 99 and said, I want the Dudleys. I want to take the Dudleys, and I want Taz. So Paul Heyman probably agreed, because Vince and Paul Heyman had an agreement to basically, when Paul Heyman got talent over, Vince would take them. So ECW was basically like a minor leagues for the WWF to get talent from there. And Paul Heyman would help the talent get over and coach them, and whatever he had to do, he'd get them ready to go to the WWF. So the Dudleys leave. The Dudleys and Taz, 3 guys right there, 3 top guys in ECW. I was fans of all 3 of them. The Dudleys and Taz, all 3 of them leave in August of 90, or Dudleys left in August, late August, or early September. Taz leaves in September, and they all go to the WWF, but Taz didn't make his debut. It was hyped in video packages on Taz and video vignettes on Taz coming to the WWF. He didn't debut until Royal Rumble 2000. But the Dudleys did debut, I think, right on a Monday Night Raw in September, because they were on Unforgiven 99, which was in September. So, ECW loses 3 top guys, and I'm sure Paul Heyman was sad and didn't want them to go. But he probably told Vince, you can have them, but please don't take Rob Van Dam from me now. Because Paul Heyman and ECW, they really needed Rob Van Dam to stay on their... Paul Heyman definitely needed Rob Van Dam to stay in ECW until they went out of business, because he was basically the only guy left that was the most popular and most over with the crowd, and Rob Van Dam was money for ECW. Whenever the guys on pay-per-views or TV tapings, the buildings would sell out. So the WWF did not take Rob Van Dam until summer of 2001, when the Invasion angle started, and RVD came out on Raw and debuted with Tommy Dreamer in the WWF as part of. They were part of the ECW team, and they merged with the WCW team in the Invasion angle. Anyways, Taz's last title defense, Anarchy Rulz, it's against Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka. Anyways, they eliminate Taz from the three-way elimination match. They eliminate Taz really quick in the match, and the crowd is pretty shocked. And before the match, the crowd knew, probably because they read spoilers on the internet from the dirt sheets, they knew Taz was leaving for the WWF. They were booing Taz. They were chanting, some fans were chanting, you sold out, you sold out. Well, whatever. He sold out because he knew he was going to make more money to provide for his family, so he did not sell out. He just took a better deal that was offered to him. I mean, if you're a wrestler, you take the best deal possible that you can fucking get. You don't just stay because you think and you're afraid you're going to let down the fans of the company that you're in. So, Taz gets eliminated. The fans are pretty shocked, and every wrestler from the ECW roster comes out on the ramp, stands there, and lets Taz walk in between them, and all the talent gives Taz a standing ovation, and the fans all stand up, and all the fans then finally give Taz a deserving standing ovation for all the time he spent and how he busted his ass in his time in ECW. He deserved a standing ovation. The guy did a lot for ECW. So Taz loses the world title. Then Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome are fighting over it. Mike Awesome wins the ECW World Championship. It was pretty shocking. I didn't expect Mike Awesome to win, but he did. He was a decent champion for the short time that he had it. And I think he'd go into March of 2000 even having it, until he wanted to jump to WCW in April 2000 with the belt. And then ECW had to bring Taz back because he was under WWF contract. They had to bring Taz back at a house show, and Taz defeated Mike Awesome then for the ECW World title to win it. Anyways, that was Anarchy Rulz. The main event was RVD versus Balls Mahoney. Rob Van Dam did a flip into the crowd. That was pretty epic. Anarchy Rulz, I enjoyed it. I give it a C+. I enjoyed Anarchy Rulz 99 from ECW. Now I'll talk about WWF No Mercy. And then Halloween Havoc. No Mercy, the big matches I remember were the first ever tag team ladder match between Hardys and Edge and Christian in the Terry Invitational Tournament. I guess the winning team would get Terry as their manager or something like that, or they would get $10,000 or maybe $100,000. I don't remember. I think they had a bag hanging above the ring, a bag, I guess, of money, a bag of money to grab. Anyways, it was a first ever tag team ladder match, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It was awesome. The Hardys and Edge and Christian tore it up. They had great charisma, great chemistry, not charisma, great chemistry in the ring together, and they always had great tag matches together. So that was an awesome tag team ladder match. I mean, some of the stuff they did in that match, we still haven't seen to this day. It was that good. The spots they did, it was just awesome. And then the main event was Stone Cold Steve Austin challenging Triple H for the WWF Championship. This match was okay. It turned into a street fight brawl. It was okay. Stone Cold did not win the title because I believe he knew he had to leave to go get neck surgery very soon. So Triple H, I believe, retains somehow. I don't know how. Maybe it's by disqualification or something. I don't know. Or I think the match might have been no DQ. So that's why they were brawling. So that was No Mercy 99. The match of the night was the tag team ladder match between the Hardys and Edge and Christian. That match was epic. Now I'm going to talk about WCW Halloween Havoc 99. And this pay-per-view was pretty awful. The only good things that I remember that happened were Sid and Goldberg. I believe they had a first blood match or some type of gimmick match, no rules or something. And Sid and Goldberg both bled in it. I think it was a first blood match for the U.S. title. I don't know who was U.S. champion. Sid might have been, and Goldberg was, and Sid won the U.S. title, something like that. Anyways, that was a pretty entertaining match between Sid and Goldberg. I'm not saying the match was good, but it was entertaining. And then before the main event, where Sting defended the title against Goldberg, and I believe Sting retained, or I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know who won the match. I don't remember. I think it was a mess because Goldberg, whoever kept the title, if it was Sting or Goldberg, they didn't keep it because at the next pay-per-view in November, WCW Mayhem, the stupid powers that be, or I think they're called the powers that be, or creative control, or some stupid name. It was Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara came into WCW as the saviors. They were supposed to be the saviors, and they were supposed to save WCW and get them great ratings on Monday nights and get them back into the fight with the WWF to try to become number one again. Well, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were never the saviors. They just ruined and killed WCW even more, and they were like a cancer that finally killed WCW through the entire year 2000 into 2001. They were basically a cancer that killed WCW because they did some god-awful, stupid-ass shit in the end of 2000 and the end of 99. Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara came up with some stupid-ass shit. Like, I think in early 2000 or whenever it happened, Ed Ferrara was trying to imitate and be Jim Ross. His character was Oklahoma. He was basically ripping off JR and making fun of him, making fun of his Bell's palsy disease he had in his face. Anyways, Ed Ferrara is a scumbag for making fun of JR, one of the best announcers in the history of the business, and one of my favorites of all time. So, F you for that, Ed Ferrara, for making fun of JR as Oklahoma. You are a fucking scumbag for doing that. Anyways, Vince Russo was no better, really, than Ed Ferrara. The stupid shit he came up with. He gave himself the WCW World title on a Nitro in September 2000 after they had that 3 levels of steel cage, and Vince Russo walked out of the door and became the new champion. That was horse shit and crap. Vince Russo also was the guy behind giving David Arquette the WCW Championship. That idea was fucking bullshit and stupid as hell. So they weren't the saviors, and I'm sure they did have good ideas, I'm sure, in WWF, because Vince McMahon was with them, probably working with them, and giving his ideas, and they're putting their ideas together and coming up with something. But Vince had the final say. Vince McMahon had the final say over Ed Ferrara and Vince Russo, and in WCW, they had nobody to answer to. I don't think they had anybody really to answer to. They just came up with their own shit, and it didn't work because they didn't have Vince McMahon around them. And Vince McMahon definitely, because his company is still in business and the guy is still making money from his company, Vince McMahon is definitely way, way, way smarter than Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara. I would definitely rather have Vince McMahon at 70 years old or 80 years old running a wrestling company than Vince Russo running a wrestling company. But whatever. Vince claims he runs a entertainment company. Whatever. There's still a wrestling ring set up on your shows, and you still put on wrestling because there's a wrestling ring there. So it's still a wrestling show, and it's still a wrestling company / entertainment company. So in Halloween Havoc, you had it was just bad. You had Hulk Hogan come out, challenge Sting. Or Hulk Hogan, I believe, was WCW champion. He comes out dressed in street clothes. I didn't understand why he did this. I don't know if it was a shoot or if it was part of the show or what. But it's really confusing. Hulk Hogan comes in street clothes, talks to Sting in the ring. He's going to face Sting for the title. Says something, and Sting then lays down on his back. And then Sting covers. Or I guess Hulk Hogan tells Sting, cover me, and I'm laying down, or I don't know why he decided to lay down, and then Sting covered Hogan. 1, 2, 3, Sting wins the title. And right after they made the 3 count, they just absolutely cut the match off on the pay-per-view Halloween Havoc after they made the 3 count and Sting beat Hogan from Hogan laying down on his back. They cut the match off and didn't even mention that Sting was the new champion or anything. They just cut the match off and went to a video package. So that was weird. And just, they're doing confusing, stupid ass shit that made no sense at Halloween Havoc 99. I don't know who came up and wrote the show or booked it, but it was god awful. It was total mismanagement. Whoever was booking it didn't know what the fuck they were doing. It seems like, watching it. You had Medusa come out in a bikini, and her tits were hanging out. She had giant fake breasts. They were hanging out of her bikini top. That made no sense. She came out to the ring holding WCW cologne that they came out with. And if you ever bought WCW cologne, that's pathetic. I never saw it in any stores, but I would never have bought it. Who the fuck would buy a wrestling cologne? That's just think about that. That's just stupid as fuck. Anyways, Medusa comes out in a bikini, and she says on the mic, I think she was actually pissed off, and she actually shooted at Vince Russo and at Ferrara. She says, these new writers from New York, they wanted me to come out here in a bikini, or a teeny weeny bikini, and basically Medusa knew the writing on the wall that WCW was dying, and Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were not going to save anything. So Medusa was pissed off. She sounded pissed off on the microphone when she said that, and she probably was pissed off, and she had a right to be pissed, because the direction they were going in was just stupid. They were trying to bring the WWF Attitude Era to WCW, and that was not gonna work in WCW because they had standards and practices. They were owned by Time Warner and AOL. When they merged, they were owned by them, and they wouldn't let WCW get outrageous and have that much attitude. Anyways, Medusa was pissed off because she had to come out in a bikini, probably because Vince Russo told her get in a bikini and go out there and promote our cologne in a bikini, because you're not he probably thought nobody cares about women's wrestlers, and you're a women's wrestler, Medusa, nobody cares about that. They want to see your tits and ass, so go out there and show them off. He's an idiot. Russo is an idiot for making Medusa do that. And she did it, but I'm sure she's pissed and angry because she poured a lot of the cologne on Bobby Heenan. And he seemed pissed off about that also. And I'm sure he was. He probably didn't know Medusa was going to pour cologne on him. So, Halloween Havoc was a nightmare. Halloween Havoc 99 was a fucking mess of a pay-per-view, and it was really badly booked. And then you had the Filthy Animals, Eddie Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, I think, were the Filthy Animals. Conan was in there too, I think. Anyways, that was god-awful because Eddie Guerrero came out to ringside, had Ric Flair's watch and some jewelry that he stole from Ric Flair. And then the Filthy Animals at the end of DDP versus Ric Flair, which was a pretty good strap match that they had, I thought. At Halloween Havoc after that, they attack Ric Flair and throw him in an ambulance, and I think the Filthy Animals take Ric Flair in the ambulance and basically kidnap Ric Flair. The Filthy Animals kidnapped Ric Flair, and I think the next night on Nitro they did some stupid segment where they had Ric Flair getting buried in the desert by the Filthy Animals. It was god-awful. Whoever came up with that is a fucking idiot, to basically kidnap Ric Flair and then beat him up and bury him. And then he came back looking psycho and crazy, like he had dirt all over him, and he basically dug himself out of a grave in the desert, out of sand. It was god-awful. So, Halloween Havoc, I give it F, because it was bad. Best parts were DDP versus Ric Flair strap match, and the other best part was seeing Sting on the show. That was it. Up next, I'll talk about WCW Mayhem. Took place in November '99. And they had a world title tournament, a giant tournament, probably had 30 guys in it, that started on Nitro, and the finals would end at Mayhem. I believe it was in Toronto, Canada. And Bret Hart was in the tournament, so it was obvious. Everybody knew Bret Hart was going to end up winning the WCW Championship, and he would. He did. So, Mayhem, Bret Hart, Chris Benoit, that's all I remember from it. And I think Bret Hart took on Sting in a tournament match, but he defeated Sting to go to the finals. Chris Benoit also won his match and was in the finals. So it was Chris Benoit versus Bret Hart. The winner would become the new WCW Heavyweight Champion. The crowd loved Chris Benoit and Bret Hart. They were both getting cheered. And the crowd was really happy and really into the match because there's two guys from Canada going at it. And one of them was going to become the new champion. Bret Hart wins a WCW championship. The crowd explodes. I believe they had some of the Hart family was there, and a lot of them, I think, got in the ring and celebrated with Bret. Chris Benoit respected Bret, was trained in the dungeon. Chris Benoit hugged Bret and celebrated with him after the match, and then he went to the back. And I believe the Hart family got in the ring and celebrated with Bret. And they had Canadian flags they were waving, and it was a proud moment, great moment. I was happy for Bret Hart to win the title because all that he went through in '99. He had the death of his brother, Owen, and then he did a promo on Nitro where Bret Hart basically said he didn't think he's ever going to wrestle again. And when he's sitting at home thinking about what happened to his brother, I'm sure he was depressed for most of '99, probably the entire year. So it was nice to see Bret Hart win the WCW Championship at Mayhem. Now I'm going to talk about Survivor Series '99. A lot of the matches were pretty pointless and they weren't that memorable. I'll just talk about the main event. And earlier, Stone Cold got run over by a car. A car ran at him and basically hit him. It was not Stone Cold getting hit. It was a stunt man that looked like Stone Cold. Just had a baseball hat on and jeans and camouflage jacket. So it was a stunt man, I'm sure, getting hit by the car. Because Stone Cold wouldn't agree to that, I'm sure. So Stone Cold gets taken out and hit by the car, so he's out of the triple threat with The Rock and Triple H for the title. So Stone Cold gets taken out by the car, and a year later, in October 2000, we would find out that Rikishi did it. And then that stupid promo Rikishi did on Raw and said, "I did it for The Rock and my people," whatever. That was stupid. So The Rock versus Triple H for the championship, and I believe Vince McMahon might have counted the 3 at the end. And the mystery person taking Stone Cold's spot is the Big Show. Big Show is way younger and way skinnier than he is now. And he was a good athlete still. He's not really an athlete anymore. He's just a giant that can barely move and should retire. Anyways, Big Show wins the championship, and that was pretty good to see. The crowd popped, and it was good for the Big Show to become the WWF World Champion. That was good to see. I was happy for Big Show. That was Survivor Series '99. If I grade it, I'd give it a C or C+. It was okay. Wasn't a great pay-per-view. It was just okay. The Big Show winning the title, that was a great moment because they claimed that his father was sick, or I think they were saying his father was sick or he just passed away, so this win that the Big Show just got was for his father. And before that, on Raw, they had a storyline or going into November and December because Big Boss Man would challenge. Big Show had Armageddon in December. So they had a storyline where Big Boss Man on Raw hired a fake police officer and told him to go tell the Big Show that his father passed away. So Big Show, the fake cop told Big Show on Raw his father passed, and Big Show put his head down and started crying. Obviously. I think his father did pass away years and years before '99. Anyways, then Big Boss Man comes out with a poem in his hand and says this poem is for the Big Show in the loss of his father. Like it was gonna be a nice poem for the Big Show's father. It wasn't. It basically was it was a rude ass poem about Big Show's father, basically putting him down and saying, "I'm sorry to," or some lines in it. As I remember, one of the lines was, "I'm sorry to hear your dad finally croaked." and now he's laying underground being eaten by maggots and worms. So that's what was in some of the Big Boss Man's poem about the Big Show's father passing. So Big Show is furious and wanted to kill Big Boss Man. And their match at Armageddon 99. I'll talk about Armageddon now. Armageddon 99, Big Show versus Big Boss Man. That match was really quick and ended really quick. And Big Show basically destroyed Big Boss Man and chokeslammed him 1, 2, 3 to retain the title. What else happened at Armageddon was that was decent. And Vince McMahon versus Triple H in a street fight, or no DQ street fight. And it was a pretty good match. Triple H and Vince put on a great match. Not a great match, but it was good and it was entertaining. Anyways, Stephanie gets in the ring because Triple H was going to basically bash Vince's brains in with a sledgehammer. He was holding the sledgehammer above his head, ready to hit Vince, and then Stephanie got in the ring and I think went in front of Vince. So Triple H couldn't hit her. And then she got out of the way. And then, I don't remember what the hell happened, but I think Triple H ended up hitting Vince with the sledgehammer anyways and pinning him and winning. I know he won. And then Triple H and Stephanie are staring at each other. And Triple H was acting like he was going to attack Stephanie. And then Stephanie and Triple H look at each other. And Stephanie starts smiling. And then they hug each other and embrace. And so Stephanie turns heel on her father. And starts going with Triple H because she was married to him in the storyline. And that's funny how in 99 they got married in the storyline on TV. And then in 2003... 2003, I think, they got married in real life. Or they've been married since 2003. So, and what was going on backstage was more interesting than what was happening in the real storyline. Or not the real storyline, but the storyline of Stephanie marrying Triple H, where she got drugged in the car and she was passed out. And the stupid lady that's marrying them at the Little White Chapel, she was basically saying, Stephanie, do you agree to be his wife and whatever, love him in sickness and health and take care of him? And Triple H just turned his head and was putting on a girl's voice like he was talking to Stephanie, and the stupid woman that's marrying them didn't even notice. So that was pretty dumb, but whatever. He drugged her, the boss's daughter, to marry her basically, to get power away from Vince to have him and Stephanie run the WWF, and they would in early 2000, and then Vince would eventually join them. So, but what was going on backstage was more interesting. Triple H was still dating Chyna, but I guess they stopped dating, or they broke up. Well, they eventually broke up because Chyna found all these messages, I guess on Triple H's phone or somewhere, or love notes or messages on a phone. Chyna found out that Triple H was secretly going behind her back and dating Stephanie McMahon. So Chyna found that out. So that was way more damn interesting than just Triple H marrying Stephanie on television, because backstage Triple H really cheated on Chyna to get with Stephanie to marry her. So Stephanie married a cheater to begin with. Hopefully Triple H doesn't cheat on her ever again, or ever cheat on her once, because if Stephanie does catch it, Triple H cheating on her, I think Triple H will be out of the WWE forever and won't have any power, because Stephanie will be pissed off and won't want him there. So Triple H better never, I know they have children, I think they have 3 kids together, does Triple H and Stephanie, so Triple H better never ever mess up and cheat on her, because he'll be out of wrestling. At least he'll be out of the WWE. And they'll be divorced. What the hell's so that was Armageddon 99. Also, what was pretty shocking and entertaining, They had a women's title match for the women's title, and it was a 4-way swimming pool elimination match or something like that. Anyways, what was entertaining about it was the Cat won the title, and then she claimed, I think, or if she won the title, she was gonna get naked. She said, I think, or something like that. Anyway, she won the title, and then she had a bra on, and the bra was already soaking wet, so you could already see through her bra. But then Kat took her bra off, and went like this, lifted her arms up, and for about 3-4 seconds, you could see her breasts on live pay-per-view. Her breasts were showing, and then they covered her with a towel. So that was pretty entertaining and shocking that WWF did that at Armageddon 99. But it was the Attitude Era, so it was exciting to see some breasts. I was 16 years old at the time. It was exciting to me to see it, and I wasn't offended by it at all. If people were, and people stopped watching WWE because the Cat was topless, well, that's your problem. I wasn't offended by it, and I don't get offended by really anything in wrestling, except the only thing that I got offended by was the stupid Katie Vick and Triple H climbing in the casket and doing what he did with the stupid mannequin doll of Katie Vick. That was offensive, and I did not enjoy that storyline. That was the only thing that has ever offended me, really, because I don't get offended easy at all. Anyways, WCW Starrcade 99 I'm going to talk about now, and then I'm going to be done talking about 1999. Starrcade 99, what I remember about it was Sting took on Lex Luger. They had an okay match. Kevin Nash took on Sid Vicious. Winner, whoever hit the power bomb would win. I believe that was a stipulation. So if Kevin Nash hit the jackknife power bomb, he would win. If Sid hit his power bomb, he would win. I believe Kevin Nash won. Main event was Goldberg against WCW champion Bret Hart. And Roddy Piper, I believe, was a special referee. Anyways, this is the match, Starrcade 99, where Goldberg kicked Bret Hart in the head. I guess he kicked him wrong and injured him, and he suffered a concussion. Must have been a really bad concussion, because Bret Hart could never return from it. And he did return to the ring in the WWE at WrestleMania 26, I think it was 26. Bret did return to the ring, but he didn't do much really at all. All he did was punch and kick and beat Vince with a chair. And then Bret would have a match at SummerSlam 2010 or 2011, whenever it was. Bret was in that elimination tag where Team WWE was against Team Nexus. Bret was in that, but again, he didn't take any bumps, and he didn't do anything that would injure himself. And Bret somehow, I think, even won the U.S. title from The Miz, I think, on a Raw. I think it was in Canada, and Bret won the U.S. title somehow. I don't even remember the match, but he didn't do much, and probably just put a sharpshooter on The Miz, or whoever was U.S. champion. Bret just put a sharpshooter on them, and they tapped. So Starrcade 99, Bret Hart, his career got ended. Very, very tragic and sad as hell. Sad that he never return to the ring again and be a great worker like he was. And I think Bret Hart, I'm pretty sure, retained the WCW World title. And then they'd have him join Jeff Jarrett and I think the Harris brothers in the new NWO, where they tried to start a new NWO with silver colors as the NWO letters, silver and black, whatever. The new NWO could have worked, but not with Bret Hart being injured. And he was injured, so he had to leave WCW. He would try to return in 2000 on a Nitro. He did return and screw Goldberg, but he didn't wrestle ever again in WCW after Starrcade 99. He may have on a 2000 Monday Nitro, but I don't remember any Monday Nitros from 2000 that Bret Hart was on wrestling. Anyways, a very tragic Starrcade 99. Goldberg ended Bret Hart's career. So that sucked. That happened. But Goldberg was inexperienced. Still, he wasn't even in the business for 3 years. Goldberg was really inexperienced in the ring, so I'm not shocked that he injured Bret Hart. But it shouldn't have happened, but Goldberg didn't really know what he was doing in there. That ends my part 5 of the year in wrestling 1999. This ends me talking about 1999. I'll be back on Wednesday to start my year 2000, year in wrestling, the year 2000, part 1 video on Wednesday. And tomorrow I'll be predicting the Patriots versus the Steelers. I'll do a prediction video and give my predictions for the first game of the NFL season on Thursday night. And then I'll make another video probably on Friday or Thursday. I'll make another video and give my week 1 NFL predictions of every single game. Hope you enjoyed part 5 of the year in wrestling 1999. I'm done talking about 99 now. Hope you enjoyed some of my videos on 99. Enjoy Monday Night Raw if you're watching it tonight. Bye for now.